Hi, welcome to VYAPT Growth Series, Season-2, Ep-54. In our episode today, we have with us Dr. Anil Rajvanshi, Director at Alok Industries Limited. Dr. Anil has over 40 years of experience with major textile and petrochemical producers. He is also President at Reliance Industries Limited. He is also the first Indian citizen to be knighted by the government of Malaysia with the title Datuk for the services rendered to the people of Malaysia. Hello, Dr. Anil.
Hi.
Namaskar. Nice to have you in our series.
Namaskar. My pleasure.
So we'll have few curiosities today, and this is around the textile industry where you have a lot of experience around. So I'll go with my first curiosity. What are the growth prospects of the textile industry in the next couple of years?
You see, your question is very good, but somehow the timing today, the way the challenges that textile industry is facing,
Mm-hmm.
little difficult to predict. But anyway, with the past experience, I will say that the present size of India's textile industry is about 160 billion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
In that, we have about 120 billion dollar worth of domestic sector, and 40 billion is a total export.
Mm-hmm.
Although we have ambitious target of $100 billion of exports, which is doable, the challenges have come. The first, the Russian-Ukraine war, which had increased the cost of logistics, which has increased the cost of the crude and impacted the economy. And now that Hamas and Israel war, and if like the way it's going with the Iran and Hezbollah and Middle East getting into it. So these are the challenges which are there, which may prevent us reaching the 100 billion growth. But definitely, as our vision of Honorable Prime Minister and our dynamic textile minister, Shri Piyush Goyal, is that we
Mm-hmm.
must quickly reach 250 billion by 2025 and 350 billion by 2030. That's the vision which has been set, and it has been doable because in 2021 and 22 we have witnessed the growth in exports of 41%. So we can definitely do 100 billion. But one can attribute it because in 1920, 2021 early, the pipeline was empty, and then suddenly there was a spurt in the demand, and we had done very well in the domestic market as well as in the export market. But nevertheless, there are certain key factors which are, you know, which attribute to the growth of India's textile industry. You see, one is, I will say that let us see the five key factors.
Mm-hmm.
The one is the promotion scheme and support from Government of India. Like for made-ups, we have the big companies like Wellspun, Trident, Indocount, Maspar, and then Alok Industries, who are there in the sphere of bed linen, table linen, bedding, and all these home textiles.
Mm-hmm.
There, the ROSL, reimbursement of state taxes and levies, was fixed at 7%.
Mm-hmm.
And that support really infused the growth in that segment.
Mm-hmm.
Because 7% on the FOB value is a great incentive and great support.
True.
So, as an entrepreneur, we should not look for incentives all the time, not be dependent on the crutches given by the government of India. But definitely, during the challenging time, the support is required. So today is the time when the support from government is required, which can be given as a temporary, rod tap benefit of additional 2% to promote it, or the focus product scheme which was there earlier, which has now been withdrawn, can be reintroduced for particularly for textiles. That will help. The second this thing is, the export boosters. Export boosters are basically, we should develop our MSMEs to boost exports, because there are two reasons for that. One is the organized sector does not go into the smaller items which are in handloom, handicrafts, leather. which attributes to the exports, falling under the Ministry of Textile. But MSMEs, development of MSMEs is very important to boost our exports. And not only that, there was a time when we had about 40 million people employed in this sector, which today may be about 30, 35 in that range. But development of MSMEs can create additional 75 lakhs jobs, and it will be a real booster. Other this thing is advancement of digital technologies in that, like the digital printing, inkjet printing, waterless printing, and then you have that processing. Then the inkjet I have seen brings in the consistency, which is very much required for the domestic growth and the exports. Because if you don't produce consistent quality, be it yarn, be it fiber, yarn, fabric, or apparel, everything has to be, basically consistent quality material. And one should have a faith that if you have placed an order for 1,000 or 10,000 shirts or 10,000 dresses, these will be of the same consistent and good quality. The other this thing is there is a lot of scope for self-employment. To infuse the growth, we should create the opportunities of self-employment. You like government has come up with the ambitious, mega textile parks. That is one of the support which has been given, where the even the stamp duty has been waived. You don't have to pay the stamp duty. There are certain subsidies which are also allowed. So these are the things which will definitely contribute to the growth of this sector. This sector can very well be grown because the three fundamentals which are there, roti kapda makan, these are the basic things. And today we are lucky that our median age of people is 30 years, which is
Mm-hmm.
a very young, which is a very young and vibrant population we have today, and we are fortunate to have that. And in that population, it's not the older time. This present young population need at least 3 to 4 changes. They get up from the bed, they need to change into the gym wear or the walk wear. Then they change into office wear. Then they come back into laser wear. Then in the night wear. So these are the four things, four changes which take place. So you need a four set of clothes. So this is something which will definitely, a growth factor, a younger population for India. And I think we are moving in the right direction. We are moving in the, we are taken care of, adopted most of the technologies which are there, like, in the dyeing or in the printing. We have now such a nice inkjet digital printing machines which are available. And fortunately, man-made textiles, which today have a global share of about 72%,
Mm-hmm.
as against cotton of 24%. So that 73%, 72, 73% share of man-made is something which is very commendable. And it is going to increase because our cotton is subjected to various vagaries. And the crop size, the acreage is reducing because the farmer need the cash crop. So acreage is not increasing. Then the yield is somehow, because of the uneven monsoon, unpredictable monsoon, bell worms. Somehow, this year we are only saying that only 290 lakhs bales will come out instead of 325, 330 lakh bales. So that is not there in the man-made because it's a machine-made fiber,
True.
predominantly by polyester.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have viscose, we have nylon, we have polyamide, and then we have other, switching over to the other fibers like hemp fiber, banana. Today I read about soya bean.
Mm-hmm.
Soya bean. This thing is when it is boiled, the polymers are added, and then you can do the wet spinning like a any fiber. So soya bean fiber is there, hemp fiber is there, banana fiber is there, jute anyway is there. So these are the new natural fibers which are coming into this, which are the new innovations which are taking place. So these things are something which I feel
The growth
will
drivers.
definitely will be the growth drivers.
Okay.
And other thing is the processing.
Hmm.
You see, earlier, we could not achieve the kind of growth that we should have because
Mhm.
we didn't have a very strong processing.
Mhm.
It has always been a weakest link in our textile value chain.
Mhm.
But now we have the new process houses, which are having a developed technology.
True.
They are having, in the least water consumption, you have a processing of fabric, you have the dyeing capabilities which are there, which require minimum of water, or even the waterless dyeing has come out,
Hmm.
and it's becoming very popular.
Hmm. So,
Similarly,
yeah.
processing materials, there is a lot of new processing materials have come,
Hmm.
which take lesser time, give better finish, better quality.
Hmm.
So this is one thing which is like you when you use different dyes, and now in the processing there is ultrasonic waves
Mhm.
which has been introduced.
Mhm.
So ultrasonic waves and EM radiation, it also create energy which is required for the processing.
Oh, wonderful. Hmm.
Yeah, so these are some of the things which are happening,
Hmm.
and I'm 100% sure all this will add to the growth of Indian textile industry.
Hmm. So,
We are here to grow.
Yeah, yeah. So, Dr. Anil,
Yeah.
you talked about numerous factors for growth.
So please just call me Anil.
Yeah, okay. So,
Yeah.
Anil, you talked about numerous factors for growth, and you also talked about that there is a great possibility that in another 2 years' time we'll be able to add another $100 billion. If I talk of the entire textile industry for that matter. So, I'm sure with the kind of growth prospects we have, there is a lot of innovation definitely happening within the industry. So my second curiosity, you were just talking about, was around the similar thing, that what are the recent innovation which is happening within the textile industry, and how is the industry transforming itself for the future with the kind of growth prospects we have.
You see, one is the innovation, other is the sustainable innovations.
Hmm.
I will talk of sustainable innovations
Hmm.
because although you have kept a question on sustainability,
Hmm.
but I am saying that any innovation, if you start with a sustainable innovation,
True.
it always helps you in a longer perspective.
Hmm.
So, like as I talked of some of the natural fibers,
Hmm.
like we have lotus fiber,
Hmm.
we have jute fiber. Already we had silk,
Hmm.
banana, hemp, and now we have a coffee. What you call it, that from the coffee plant
Hmm.
we can create a fiber.
Okay.
So with these new natural fibers coming, these are all the new innovations. These were not there earlier.
Hmm.
We had jute earlier,
Hmm.
we had silk earlier, but we never thought of the fiber coming from lotus, fiber coming from banana, fiber coming from hemp, fiber coming from coffee beans, and all that. These things are there. And today, like I was talking about soya bean, these are the things which are the new innovations, and these are all natural. And India is lucky to have all these natural resources. But all these things have to go side by side by the cotton and the man-made fiber, because whatever the innovations are there, it's a long drawn process to develop them. And as I said, in India, be it lotus, be it jute, be it silk, banana, or hemp, or coffee beans, we have consumer consumption which is looming larger than using these things for textiles. So when your resources are limited, because no new generation is going for farming. In fact, people from the villages are moving to the cities, and even the farmer son doesn't want to be farmer. So while we are having innovation in developing new this thing, but the use will be limited. And to increase that, we have to further innovate how to replace them with the man manufactured fiber, which are the man made fibers, and how to gel with them so that we create a new product which is, a combination of polyester and banana fiber.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, even in polyester now, I must say that Reliance has done a lot of research. We have created a lot of varieties in that. We have Arilan, which is, this is we were there, the first to recycle the material, because the recycle and reuse is a new innovation which has to come. So, because the world today is in a moving in a direction of recycle and reuse.
True.
So, recycle is also one of the innovation which has taken a new shape, like making from earlier, 20 years back, Ganesh Polytechs in Kanpur started with the polyester fiber manufacturing from the PET bottle waste.
Mm.
So that was the innovation done on 20 years back.
Mm.
So today we are making from PET bottle to PET bottle, because Coke, Pepsi, Danone, and everybody will need green PET.
Mm.
So it is a new innovation. Secondly, we are developing the continuous yarn from PET bottles,
Mm.
which is another innovation. Then other innovation is yarn from marine animals.
Mm.
This is a new concept which is coming, and it will get developed over a period of time.
Mm.
All these things will take time to develop, but ideas are there. The sampling is being done, and then we are having natural dyes. We are having 3D printing, inkjet printing, digital printing on fabrics, virtual sampling. The virtual sampling is one thing which is going to attribute to a large scale export development.
Mm-hmm.
Because today, in the physical sampling, lot of manpower, lot of efforts, lot of work goes on. And then the buyer says, okay, you do one thing, you remove this,
Mm-hmm.
the front, this thing, make it only 4 inches, and then it will look how it will look. I want to see that. So you have to, instead of stitching a new garment with only 4 inch of lapel, what you can do is on the virtual sampling, you can do it at showing.
Okay. Mm.
So this is a new innovation of virtual sampling, and I think now the way we are moving, most of the sampling will be done through virtual sampling.
Wonderful. So you talked about a lot of innovations within this particular space. You talked about virtual sampling and other, I think more than 10
And
innovations.
self cleaning clothes, self cleaning clothes. This is
Self-cleaning
self cleaning
clothes.
fabric which is coming.
Yeah, so a lot of innovation happening within this particular industry, and to ensure that the kind of growth prospects which we are able to realize it in the near future. But can you also talk about, while we are talking about a lot about the growth, how are we taking care of the sustainability? So in a question, which is also my curiosity number three, that what are the steps taken by the industry towards sustainability and ESG, and what is the employment opportunity which is being created? I'm sure it is one of the largest employment creators. So what are the employment opportunities are we able to see in the future coming up within this particular industry?
You see, there are, as I said, 40 million people are employed in this industry, and its target is not to make this 40 to 60 million. Target is to make that 250 billion to 350 billion in 2030.
Hmm.
That should be the target.
Hmm.
And while achieving that target, we have to see the sustainability. In sustainability, we should have a fabric or a smart garment which adjusts to the temperature outside.
Mhm.
This is the new thing which is coming up, which will have a inbuilt thing in the fabric itself, which will adjust to the temperature outside. Your body, it will get your body, get warmed. If it is, if there is a winter outside, cold outside, it will definitely, create a warmth inside your body. That's the fabric quality is coming up. So what I'm trying to tell you is that as far as the sustainability is concerned, as I told you that 20 years back we learned of making from waste bottles the polyester fiber. Today, 1
Mm.
million ton of polyester fiber is made from the PET bottle waste. 1 million ton. And it is only increasing. And it will further develop and further increase as far as I am concerned. And I see that because, this, but I say, you know, uh, let us look at it like this. Our today, our fabric production
Mm-hmm.
or the whatever is the apparel production is there, it
Mm-hmm.
emits about 10% of total global carbon.
Okay.
So this is not a correct thing. I mean, we have to reduce it because 10% of total carbon emission is emitted by the fashion production, by the fabrics, by the apparels. So what we have to do is for the sustainability, we have to, because now Europe is already coming with carbon border adjustment tax. There is a carbon border adjustment mechanism which has come. So in order to have sustainability in our exports as well as in domestic industry, both are important. Domestic industry is important because there is a lot of awareness to the environment which is there now. No longer you can just put your effluent into the drain. You got to have all the effluent treatment plant. And instead of
Mm-hmm.
having a lot of capital expenditure on setting up the effluent treatment plant or the water treatment plant, it's better to use the
Mm-hmm.
materials which creates lesser amount of effluent. Like I said in the innovation, the waterless dyes, inkjet printing, digital printing. You need least amount of effluents and water coming out of it. So those things have to be adopted by this thing. So what is required is basically, we have to see that how we save the environment. And the other important factor is that we need to promote a textile which consumes lesser amount of water, is not a
Mm.
burden on our natural resources. Like
True.
for a for a cotton shirt you need about 2000 gallons of water, and for 700 gallons of water for a jeans.
Mm.
Now, we these are all the, taxing our natural resources. So basically, to sustainable this thing, we have to come out with a solution. Is
Mm-hmm.
now many companies are working. Even Reliance is working on that,
Mm-hmm.
wherein we do need very lesser amount of water. Because
Mm-hmm.
unlike, there are two things. One is in polyester anyway, you don't need much water as
Mm.
compared to rayon or viscose where you need more water. So we have to now get into the thing where the our pressure on the natural resources are the least. We develop those products,
Okay. Okay.
and
I
other
yeah, please,
other
please.
other 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 thing is, if you see look at the textile waste, this
Mm-hmm.
100 billion garments are produced and 92 million tons of clothing ends up in the landfill. Now, how to deal with that 92 million tons of textile waste which is going into the landfills? That
Mm-hmm.
is the major challenge today. And what happens if you are having a cotton apparel? There is no circularity in cotton. You can't circulate.
Mm-hmm.
There is no circular economy or circular recycling that works for cotton. But in
Mm.
polyester, you can do the recycling. There is a total circularity is there. So we have
Mm-hmm.
to now. have a focus on using the raw materials wherein there is a circularity, so that we don't end up having so much of waste. Because today the garment waste, the apparel waste,
Mm-hmm.
is a major challenge for the world. Not only India, it's for all the economy. It's a major challenge. What to do with the discarded garments? So there, everyone has to come forward to recycle, and then we have to introduce a cloth swapping program. I have a blue jacket, you have a white jacket. Let us swap it, and you will find many
Mm-hmm.
people. But you have to bring in this kind of concept if you really want to have a sustainable textile industry. Bring it. What is wrong in that? Today you will see, and in the market there is a facility available that if for a party a woman want to carry a Louis Vuitton bag, it's available on rent. So
Mm-hmm.
why can't we have a mutual swap scheme for the apparels?
Mm-hmm.
So you just give your sizes. My size is 40. I have this color of this thing. There are colors there. There are sizes there. And then
Mm-hmm.
swapping is allowed. So you just swap it.
Mm-hmm.
And the third element is renting.
Mm-hmm.
In America, when the wedding take place, 90% of tuxedos are rented. They don't get it stitched. Let us not live in that impression, that 25 all those guys comes in a church from the groom side, and they are wearing the tuxedos. They get it staged, and that kind of money is created. No, they are all rented. I have attended a wedding of my cousin in Ohio in America way back in 2000,
Mm-hmm.
and I rented the tuxedo. The guy came, took the size, and brought the tuxedo next day morning for the church wedding. So why can't we
Mm-hmm.
have that in India?
Mm-hmm.
Renting of apparels. Because what you have to reduce is that 92 million garments which are going in the landfill as a waste.
Mm-hmm.
That is the real sustainability we must achieve. And other thing is, apart from rent, donating. We should be open to donation of clothes. It's not that today discarded clothes are donated to some poor or to some beggar or no. No.
Mm-hmm.
So what I am saying is, one is that reduce weight, waste, recycle, then swapping, then renting, and the last is donating. If we really
So these
want to have a sustainable environment, we must focus and work on these lines.
So you just talked about the five different ways through which we can make our environment sustainable, primarily within the textile industry,
Yeah,
and you also talked about the employment opportunities coming in for our country as well as within the industry. I'm sure
yeah.
a lot is going to come as we realize our dreams of $350 billion by 2030. I move on to our next round from here, which is a rapid fire round. 10 questions would be coming to you, has to be answered in one word or maximum of a sentence. So one word or maximum of a sentence
Did
for every question.
did you did you did you send me those questions?
This is rapid fire
No,
round. Yeah, I'm
but
sure.
did you send me those questions? One second.
Uh,
Let me just see. One second. Yeah, I got it. It's with me. Yes.
okay, fair enough. So it's coming to you. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, yeah.
So here we go. So I'll start with the first one. So I'll start with the first one. What is your favorite food?
Indian food.
What do you text most?
Today's learning on the LinkedIn.
Okay. What's your favorite type of music?
Classical, Indian classic music.
One subject which you would like to learn more about?
I feel the learning is a continuous process, but subject of learning is basically the sustainability as we discussed in the last.
So 4 on 4 to you. I'll move on to the fifth one now. What is your favorite rainy day activity?
Having pakoras with the tea.
Okay, so next one. What never fails to make you laugh?
Wow. Anything good that I see, or anything good that I read, or anything, any comedy that I see,
Okay, so if you were to write a book, what would it be about?
base
Writing a book.
base camp to boardroom,
Summer or winter?
winter.
So you talked about the base camp to boardroom. That was
Yes.
the name of the book. Okay. What quote resembles with you?
Well, if the one door closes, there is always a second one which is already open for you.
Oh, wonderful. So you are very optimistic. The last one. What is the best advice you have ever received?
Keep working. It's not that you always succeed, but the success will always come to you if you continue to work.
It's wonderful, Anil. 10 on 10 to you in this rapid fire round, and you've done exceptionally well here. I'll move on to our last curiosity, which is about you as a leader. You talked a lot around the textile industry, in the growth, the innovation, sustainability, as well as the kind of opportunity it has for the masses here in India. And you also talked about how we can actually save the environment and probably for a sustainable future ahead. But my question is about you as a leader, which is the last curiosity which we have, is what lessons did you learn from your mentors or colleagues in your journey so far, and how it has impacted your leadership style?
You see, I learned a lot of lessons during my 40 years of career. The first lesson learned in the Marwadi system, that was the BK Birla Group, Bharat Commerce and Industry, was that be always honest. And second, this thing is was take a decision, right or wrong. You may be taking five wrong decisions, but you will it will learn you to take 20 right decisions. So keep taking decisions. The third thing I learned is that hard work and integrity will pay not today but tomorrow. Never be
Mm,
disheartened. Other thing is failures is a part of life, and success is a gift of life. The other lesson is the I learned from my mentor is that because in my career, especially in that 20 almost 20 years in Reliance, my mentor has been Mr. Nikhil Meswani, and he has always,
mm,
been a source of inspiration to me, because there are many times,
mm,
it's like when you are walking with your father when you were young, many
mm,
times you slipped, but he was always
mm,
there to lift you or to support you. So you must have always someone who is to support you.
mm,
So he has always mentored me. Then my Mr. Udeshi has always guided me. So two things are very important: right mentoring and right guidance. And other thing is people who have trust in you, and then value your advice. Always, whenever even your subordinate is telling you something, you must give due attention and attach value to it. The last thing I would like to tell this thing is that as a leader, you should always be available and present whenever it is required by your team
mm.
or your organization. You should be there. You may not be suitable for that, but you are there to shoulder the responsibility
True.
and never let your team fail. So this is what I would like to conclude with.
Wonderful. I think the kind of leadership skills which you talked about and what is that you've learned are some of the remarkable things in the success of a human being, the kind of business it does or whatever destiny he chooses for his career in the future. Thank you, Anil, for your in-depth insights for the textile industry and feeding our curiosity. It's been a great time having you on VYAPT Growth Series. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you, Pankaj. It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.